So listen, if any of you guys are thinking about doing your own podcast, man, I highly recommend you use Anchor. Anchor.fm. It's free. You know what I mean? It's got all the tools and stuff you need to make your stuff sound spiffy. You know what I mean? It's seamless. It's user friendly. You can record it from your phone. You record it from your computer. You know what I'm saying? If you wanted to be on Spotify or Apple Podcast or anything like that, it'll do it for you. You know, you can make some money. You know what I mean? Doing a sponsorship ad and just like something like this. And it's also free. So if you're interested in it, man, you can download the free Anchor app or you can go to anchor.fm. Good luck. All right, folks. We're back in the lab, back in the studio. Episode 16, Kicking It with Key. Special guest, Miss Key herself, Miss Key Lolo, Miss Lakeisha Elaine.
No, why are you doing all that?
You will always be Elaine to me.
It's Kiki Lolo.
All right, well, tell the people what's up. You know what I'm saying?
So, it's your girl, Mrs. Kiki Lolo.
Ms.
Okay. No, I'm married.
Stay in front of the mic, Ms.
But I'm married. So, it's Mrs.
That's what I said. It just
No, you said Ms.
I just slid it in there.
It's like Mrs.
Finish your introduction.
All right, so, it's your girl, Mrs. Kiki Lolo, okay? And got my little podcast, Kicking It with Key. So, you got Captain's Log on Monday, and I finish y'all out on Friday.
All right, so make sure y'all check that out. This is my family right here. We known each other for 15? Pushing 15 years?
I didn't
2007. No, about 13 years. About 13 years. Yeah.
Officially.
Yeah, about officially 13 years. So we kind of started podcast about the same time, COVID times, you know what I mean, a couple months ago. And I think we both been doing pretty good, you know what I mean? Me as a male, her as a female. Just speaking the real shit, man. I think that's what the podcast is supposed to be about. I think we both doing a good job. So go ahead and pat yourself on the back 2 times for me. Anyway, so what's new?
So
what's going on in your life right now?
In my life,
yeah, what's going on?
Man, this virtual learning, it's for real. Like,
Lord,
I mean,
send these fucking kids to school, bro.
I'm not saying I want to send them to school, but
they can go like once, twice a week.
I want them to get out the house. I don't know where they supposed to go, but
man, look, let me tell you something. If they got gym classes, my wife went to a spin class the other day. It was outside. If they can do that, they can set their motherfucking desks out outside.
But it's going to start getting cold.
It ain't cold yet. They could have went.
And what if it's raining?
Well, then they ain't having class that day. I mean, I'm just saying. I mean, we should be able to plan some shit out a little bit better than what's going on.
I'm with you though, because it's getting a lot.
It's hard with Harley. Being in preschool, Aiden is just like, you know what I mean? He may just kind of stop paying attention a little bit. But Harley, it's not her. I got to worry about the other kids. She got a couple kids in there that's kind of doing whatever. I'm like, where is the parent that's supposed to be supervising this shit? When Harley in there, I understand it. You know what I'm saying? They probably working. But it sucks because, you're trying to teach preschoolers on a computer.
Right.
Like Harley's version of being on a computer is watching Peabody and Paddington all day. She don't want to sit there and listen. Look at this lady. You know what I'm saying? Trying to read her a story. So she has to literally be like arm's distance at all times. We got to be watching.
But see, with me, you would think because I got one older, one younger, it'll be a little bit different. But I got to keep my eyes on both of them.
Yeah.
The oldest one, I didn't call him playing the daggone game when he supposed to be learning.
Well, first of all, let's be crystal clear about this. My wife is doing into this. I'm actually not participating.
Shout out to my sister-in-law.
I'm not participating in the school shit like that. I'm just there to whoop ass if they ain't doing what they supposed to do.
See, you got it easy. I'm at
that
home
ain't
by
easy.
myself.
You know how hard it is to beat kids? Well, now I want to say discipline kids. We can't use the word beat no more. They get my shit, my little man and little girl took away.
Yeah.
All right, so you got the virtual learner. What else?
Virtual learning, you know what I'm saying? Actually, this is an exclusive. I'm about to drop an exclusive for you. I ain't even said this on my podcast, all right?
Ooh.
Yeah. Y'all ready for this
Exclusive.
exclusive tea. So, me, I'm trying to start this mommy and me business with me and my daughter. So that's something else we've been working on. It's going to be some nail polish, some cosmetic type stuff, things that little girls are interested in.
Mm-hmm.
So, after I wrap up this season, then I'm really going head first.
Wrap up this season.
I gotta wrap up the podcast season.
How many episodes you gonna do till you wrap it up?
I'm still trying to figure that out. Like, what is a good stopping point?
I was told you just have one season and you just keep going.
Really?
That's what I was told.
I feel like we're gonna need a break.
Yeah, but if it's like, think about it. It was a comment. I'm in this Facebook. You still in that Facebook group?
Yeah.
Do you be watching what they be saying in there? They be dropping some gems in there.
Yeah, I see some stuff, but I ain't see nothing about the seasons.
Well, every now and then, because what's going on now is a lot of people ask like the same questions, and hats off to the admins for like allowing that shit, because it's like 40,000 people in that joint. But somebody was just like, the reason why you should just keep going is because it's bad enough you're trying to build. You're trying to build a following, and now you're going to tell them, hey, I'll see you in a couple of months, so I'll see you in a couple of weeks. And you think they supposed to just wait for your ass. So I'm going to keep pumping these bitches out. You know what I'm saying?
So what I'm thinking about doing is just having a couple pre-recorded already where, like, so 1 week I may just devote episode after episode, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that way I can just have them on auto release, and then but whole time I'm taking a break for a couple weeks. You get what I'm saying?
So you saying probably do like 2 or 3 joints and just have them in the queue.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, I guess technically we should be doing that shit anyway.
Yeah.
Not recording Sunday evening at 7:13 p.m. But
That's your lateness.
but my thing is, it's like, I mean, if you in a position to have guests or to do some solo stuff and do it like that, I mean, more power to you. I personally, not saying I couldn't do it, but let's just say we interviewing now, and then I interview somebody on like Tuesday, and then I interview somebody on like Friday. I'm not gonna want to interview nobody probably all the way up to whatever that episode is. I need to put somebody else. I'm probably not gonna want to do. I'm gonna feel like I'm burnt out.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's good that I have that couple of days to kind of put it out there in the atmosphere. You know what I'm saying? And see, are y'all feeling me? Y'all digging me? You know what I'm saying? What I need to adjust. And shout out to the folks that have been giving me feedback, man.
Yeah.
Because I just started getting feedback maybe 2 episodes ago.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So you think that's contributed to the fact that you are on more platforms now, like YouTube and stuff? People.
Well, the YouTube thing is, for me, starting to want to do the video and the audio aspect of it. I just feel like with YouTube, it's like, I think YouTube is what'll get me over. Even though you got to have like 1,000 followers and 4,000 hours of listening time or download time, whatever. But I just feel like YouTube is more of a household name than Anchor. You know what I'm saying? So it's like when you tell somebody, hey, you can listen to me on Anchor, and they be like, what the fuck is
What's
that,
Anchor?
bro? Yeah. It's like you say YouTube. Oh, yeah. I mean, people are on YouTube for anything. So why not to sit down and listen to me talk a little bit of shit? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I mean, all feedback is good feedback, regardless if it's negative or not. I mean, I've gotten more good than bad. You know what I'm saying? But I've definitely gotten some feedback that I've had to make immediate changes, like sound. You know what I'm saying? Sound was really the biggest thing for me.
Yeah, so I get the I'm like, I do that a lot apparently. So, and I say like,
but that's who you are though.
I know. So that's what I was saying. Like, I'm trying to be like, if I'm talking to you, that I'm like, and girl, bed. So I don't understand why.
But it's not. I'm gonna say it's not like you sitting there like pausing and shit. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
I just do a little smack sometimes. I try not to, but that's me.
I feel like that's who you are. If you stop doing that, you're gonna be talking like somebody you ain't. They gonna be like, who the fuck she think she? This ain't her.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Acting on the podcast.
Yeah. But anyway, so let's just step away from that. Let's just go back. Let's get a history lesson. So how the fuck did we meet?
So you used to say that I met you like 03 sometime, but I don't remember that. Back with a cookie incident, but I don't remember that 03.
I just remember Cookie. I don't remember you.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I don't know who Cookie was with. Cookie was with the Joanne chick.
Oh, see, yeah, I probably wasn't.
Yeah, I don't remember seeing you. I don't.
I was punished a lot, so that's why I was kind of like, you sure you saw me? Because I was always in trouble.
Yeah.
But
Cookie was at every party. Shout out to Cookie, Thug Life. You know what I'm saying? So
that's my ace spoon coon
that's
right
how
there.
that's how I met them. Of course, through Carlos. Shout
Yeah.
out to Los.
So that's what happened. Y'all came up to Allegheny one night. You and Carlos.
Right.
Cause Cookie was my roommate. And I remember Carlos spilling all the cereal in the kitchen.
Oh yeah,
You
he was trying
remember
to make a
that?
pancake.
It was a pancake.
He was trying to make a pancake. That joint was powdery as shit in the middle. I was like, that shit not cooked,
Oh,
bro.
so was it? I thought it was cereal. It was pancakes.
It was a pancake.
He was trying. I just know he was trying to cook. It was an epic fail.
Because that's when he kept saying that Angie Mama shit. He's like,
I know it was an epic
Angie
fail.
Mama, baby.
It was an epic fail because he was dirtied up my kitchen and spilled all that shit on the floor.
Yeah.
I remember that. And y'all drove out there.
Listen, I didn't know where Allegheny was. All I know was we was in the Buick. We was in Mom Duke's Buick. And we had just came from somewhere. I think I had just came from a concert at downtown at Capital One. I don't know what it's called now.
That's what it's called, Capital
it's still
One
Capital
now.
One. All right.
It was Verizon.
It was Verizon Center. Yeah. So he was like, "Man, you trying to go to Allegheny?" So I'm thinking that shit is in like Baltimore, like Columbia or somewhere. So I'm like, all right. So I get in the car and pass the fuck out. Man, what is it, like 2 hours wake up? I was like, nigga, where the fuck are you taking me? I thought this nigga about to take me in the woods somewhere and murder me. He's like, nigga, you got to drive, bro. This nigga that smoked like 3, 4, a whole pack of goddamn cigarettes.
Man.
Tired. So I'm driving. I'm like, bro, who the fuck said to come out? He was like, nigga, you said you want to come out here. I was like, nah, dog. I was like, you ain't telling me this shit was this far. I'd be like, nah, I'm going home. So then we get there, and everything was a fucking blur from there. All I remember was the pancake, and then I passed the fuck out.
Yeah, I just remember he dirtied up the kitchen, and then that's when it was kind of like, oh, you Leon, oh, you Kiki. It was like that.
Yeah. And
then I think we became friends on. I think we were still using AOL Instant Messenger back then.
Nah, this wasn't like, what was this, like 2000?
But we still had Messenger. Or we had to do instant chat. How was we instant chatting?
Wasn't we on MySpace or something?
No, AOL was still popping because people still had sidekicks. So sidekicks hasn't even came out.
What the fuck year was this?
06, 07, 06.
We wasn't on MySpace? I could have sworn I was on MySpace.
We was on MySpace and Facebook.
I was on the cusp of Facebook.
We was on both, but we had the instant message.
Oh yeah,
so
yeah.
I feel like
yeah.
That's how we was on the AOL. I think
that's when life was so simple.
You know,
all this bullshit.
I remember Nextels and Sidekicks.
I had the yellow Nextel, the bus.
Battery
died fast as shit.
I had 3 different Nextels.
You had the latest. You had the latest
and greatest. Always.
Okay. All right. So fast forward from that. Then this is when I think this is when I got out. Yeah. I got out the service. And I mean, you know, Mom Duke's house was the chill spot.
Yeah, everybody was always at my house. That summer goes down in history. That's the best summer ever. Summer 2007.
It was.
I'll never forget you. Shout out to 07.
That shit was crazy.
One time for the 07. Just a quick pause. 07. All right.
So some time went by. You know what I mean? A couple of situations where I was super fried. You had to come pick me up.
Super fried. That wasn't even 07. 07, we was just establishing. You know what I'm saying? We was going out. We went to what was it? Love. I think we went to Love one night. I had the big X's on my hand. I got some pictures. I'm gonna shoot you some pictures so you could promo this episode with that.
You got some classics.
Yeah, some classics.
We definitely gotta promote the joint when we went to Lux. That's classic picture. That's when, That's when we both were skinny as fuck.
Yeah, back to skinny days. I had on blue.
I think that was like 08. I think that was like 08.
Yeah, that was like 21.
Yeah. So then.
Oh. Whoa. Go ahead.
Nah,
go ahead. All the stories.
You got it. You got it. You already got it. Go ahead.
A couple. I feel like after that night, you had went out. You went to a party out. What's it called? Gold Room.
No, I that was before I broke my wrist.
Yeah, the picture was before you broke your wrist. But I'm saying after that picture, I had to pick you up so we could go find your stuff because you lost it at the Gold Room, but you broke your wrist. Yeah.
So
I ain't even
going
to so many stories.
That shit was terrible, man. Listen, first of all, that shit wasn't even my fault. This nigga Fred was fried and was getting ready to try to drive, and we was parked right in front of that joint. You know, the police station is on the back of it. So they saw him, and I tried to just intervene and say, no, he not gonna drive. But then they was off some trying to be petty, like, nah, we got him dead to rights. I'm like, bro, he was just sitting in the car. He didn't even put the key in the ignition, and that's when they got the blabbing off, and I'm like, maybe I don't understand how I get when I'm off the cup. Like I feel invincible, so it's like I don't give a shit if it's like 3 or 4 police. You know what I mean? As long story short, wrist was broke, surgery, all that shit. You know what I'm saying? I don't fuck with Glen Arden PD.
That made me go back out there trying to find a wallet.
Lost my wallet. You know what I'm saying? Still went to work. I had to sit on the elevator at work for like 4 months in the summer, hot as fuck.
Broke there.
But out of all of that, I think that's when I really put you on the sister status when we had the apartment fire. So, living in country place, Burnbrae, 39.
Shout out to the Ville.
Shout out to the Ville.
Ville.
29. And we was living on the bottom floor, and all of a sudden I hear all these fire trucks. It was cold. I come outside in my drawers, and I look up, and the 3rd floor apartment is on fire. Whole joint. So they messed around and moved us out of the building. Like put my mother in a hotel, and I had nowhere to go, and you let me sleep on the floor in the basement for what was about 2 weeks.
So that's when you think we became brother and sister?
To me.
To you? That's when it was for real to you?
I mean, because it was like I literally had nowhere I had nowhere to go.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I had nowhere to go. Like it's like, yeah, I probably could have stayed a night here and there, you know, wherever I needed to go. But I had like all my shit in the car, like off the homeless shit. So like you was literally the only one who really looked out.
Shout out to me. You know what I'm saying?
Shout out to Elaine for that.
Yeah, I feel that was. So was that 07 too, or was that 08?
Nah, that was 08 pushing in 09 because then I had moved. Me, Barry, and Glenn had got the townhouse shortly after that. Yeah, make new. So, from there, I mean, I just think we just been evolving. We just been growing ever since. Nice. And look at us, we a whole husband, a whole wife, whole parents, whole government employees.
Okay, with the podcast,
and we're both with podcasts. We just can't lose. So tell me about your podcast.
So I started Kicking It with Key, like it had been like a little dream of mine or whatever. You know, I used to write these Facebook statuses talking about the kids, and you know, people would be like, "Oh my gosh, you should start a YouTube or a podcast, a blog, something." So I was like, you know, at first I was blogging, but I just be wanting to talk. So I'm like, I'm just gonna talk. Like I ain't gonna do this whole you know, keep typing all the stories out. So I want to say in 2017, that's when I really like started talking about it. Like, okay, I'm really going to do it.
You was talking about it that long ago?
That long ago.
Podcast wasn't even a thing.
But that's how long I was talking about it.
Just think if you would have started then.
I know where I could be, right?
Well, it's still time, but it's like now everybody got a fucking podcast now. Like you didn't realize how many people have podcasts until you start that motherfucker, and then you like, damn. But see, the thing about it is like you don't. I kind of feel like you don't have a niche. You know what I'm saying? Or niche. Am I saying it right? Like you know, like you don't have a category.
No.
You just shooting from the hip, and that's what I'm doing. And I think it's better that way because like they got apparently like some of the most popular podcasts are like the crime shit. So I'm like, so what is like some Dateline shit, but it's a podcast?
Like First 48 on the
podcast?
It's
shit like that. Yeah, I'm like or more like mental health and all that. I just kind of feel like that shit will get old at some point. It's like, all right, I don't want to keep talking about mental health.
Yeah, you know I don't like being boxed in. You know,
and that's exactly what it is because you know when I first was the thought I was gonna do my podcast on motorcycle shit, and niggas was like, everybody not into that shit, bro. Don't do that shit. It was like if you want to talk about it here and there, they was like, but like you're gonna literally narrow your audience to maybe there's 10 or 15 people. You know what I mean? So I'm glad that I did it the way I did it. I mean, technically, I was doing it from my Instagram stories and shit in the morning. That's why I was like, man, I wish this virus shit never happened and I could just be back to work because, like, the shit that I should talk about was just mainly of what I was seeing on a day-to-day, whether I was on the train, in the car, you know what I mean, out standing in front of my building. And it's like being in the house, it's like, sometimes I just feel like you got to dig a little deeper. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? To get the people something.
Get
You know
some
what I mean?
content.
Yeah.
I didn't realize how much work it was going to be. You get what I'm saying? I really just thought like, I'm gonna get this podcast studio. Shout out to my mom who bought me the podcast studio for Christmas, trying to believe in my dreams.
Yeah.
And I don't even use that shit.
Yeah. Like
It's because honestly, the first time they sent it to me, the little headset jack doesn't work, so I can't hear through the headphones. Then they didn't send me a cord. I need one of those little red and white cords. So then it was kind of like, dang, like I ain't even really using this because now we're stuck at home. I don't have the cute little captain's log room. You know what I'm saying? Where I can record my podcast.
it is a thing of beauty, isn't it?
So sometimes we be having car chronicles. I be in the car recording my episodes.
Hey, you gotta do what you gotta do. I mean, some people just put their earphones in and go. You need some mic stands? I got some shits I ain't even using no more. You can take them with you.
Let me take it with me. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? But so trying to, at first I had a whole list of episodes. I was like, okay, this is gonna be episode 1. This is gonna be episode 2,
Mhm.
and then it's like you start doing it, and it's like, no, do people really care about this? You know what I'm saying? You got to find out what the people, the audience you already have, what they're talking about, so you can make sure you're still gearing to them. You know?
But see, that's one of the main things that people say. They was like, you can't worry about like some people like. I mean, and I get it. Some of the folks who maybe become successful faster are the people who like talk about current events, what's going on, kind of like some gossip type shit. And it's like, yeah, that may work for you, but that's not really who I am. So I'm not gonna sit there and talk about Trump and Biden on Tuesday, or you know what I'm saying. Like I may talk about sports, you know what I'm saying, but that's just what men do. We talk sports and shit like that, you know what I mean. But as far as like really just following like you TMZ or something, like to me that shit is corny. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's like, okay, well, what about you? Like, who the fuck are you?
Right.
Or are you just you know what I'm saying, a mobile news reporter out here? You know what I mean?
And why sports only men can talk about sports? Women talk about sports.
Y'all don't be watching
I
sports.
was watching
for
the
real.
game.
Who won?
No, I was watching the game when I got here. I was looking
Who
at
won?
the game is not over.
Who won?
The game wasn't
Who won the
over.
game? Who won the game before that?
Your team didn't win.
Who they play?
Them Deadskins ain't
Who they
win.
play?
They played the damn Bear, the Cleveland Browns.
Yeah, let's
Cleveland Browns.
Let's move on.
Isn't that who they played?
Damn,
and they play the Browns.
Who the fuck is the Browns?
The Browns.
Is it BROWENS or BA?
They played the Browns.
Shout out to the football team. Tighten up though.
Oh wait, I forgot you. They not even the Deadskins no more.
It's actually
the Washington.
It's actually job racist to call them the Redskins now because it's not the team no more. You know, I wore my jersey out the house and I was like, well, I don't think I can wear this shit no more.
Ooh.
I might have to get me a football team hoodie or something, a t-shirt.
Hail to the Washington.
It's
hail to the football team.
It's hail to the Washington football team.
See, I haven't really been keeping up with the sports stuff because I stand with Kaepernick. So,
You came in my house and washed it. So you
I was
cut
I just fucked myself.
Anyway, so back to the podcast. So outside of everything else, so just tell me about like some of the difficulties. You know what I'm saying? Like
sound. Sound difficulties.
I think sound is number one when you starting.
I remember one time I was trying to record an episode in the car. I went from like in the house to the car. Everybody could tell I had left the house and went to the car. Then you have, oh man, I had a whole interview set up one time. Person was like, yeah, I'm gonna do it with you. I'm gonna do it with you. And then the time came for us to record, and there was a no show.
Threw you in the bag.
Like, you know what I'm saying? So then you just out here with a random ass episode, and it's like I'm trying to be consistent.
Trickery.
So the one thing I have been is consistent, except for that episode I kind of slipped up. I put it out a little bit late, but see, I got this whole thing with the numbers.
Well, I mean, I consider late as like you didn't put shit out at all. You just waited a week. If you put it out a day or two late, you know.
Because I feel like I dropped it on a Monday or something, real random joint. You know what I'm saying? I don't even remember what I was talking about it because I was just a little bit blown. But it's been a lot of like a learning curve. You know what I'm saying? Like this a business too.
It is.
You know what I'm saying? So you got to put your creative thinking cap on. You got to make sure you ain't just out here with that fluff content.
Yeah.
Because you don't want just anything out
You
there.
can't just be saying anything. I actually had to do that one time. I had an interview set up, but we weren't ready to do it. So I just had to just go. That was my track day episode. If y'all can't tell, I just threw that shit together. I was really I was pissed off that I couldn't put it out, but I was like, it's a process. You know what I'm saying? I was like, I still put something out, so it's still a small victory. So what about your high moments? Like,
I feel like the Love After Loss episode with Cookie and Chelsea was I feel like people was probably nosy for real, wanting to know Cookie and Chelsea business. Probably, maybe, I don't know, but
yeah,
that's my most listened to episode. But it was really good to kind of hear like their story. You know what I'm saying? Because for
yeah,
us to be so young and for them to have gone through something so tragic so young, like you know, I was proud. I'm proud of them for
yeah.
triumphing. Is that the word I
Mm.
want to say?
I mean, just pushing forward.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
you know what I'm
So,
saying.
but for me, definitely, I will agree with you. Sound, sound, and it's like I was just trying to be a perfectionist. You know what I'm saying? In the
Yeah.
beginning, and just like, damn, it got to sound like this. The room got to be set up like that. Like I could have recorded that shit. It's just shit in my kitchen
Mm-hmm.
and probably did it last year. But I was like, oh, I want my own studio space. I go out, I paint the room, put the wallpaper up. You know what I'm saying? And
Real face.
put the art up. Got you know what I'm saying? And then I'm about to fuck around and take all this shit and move it to another part of the house. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? But um, a high moment for me was initially like when I first dropped the podcast. I had dropped 2 episodes. I dropped introduction and I dropped the Father's Day joint. So that means I dropped it in August. Um,
What in June, boy?
June. Oh, it's not in August.
Nah.
All right, whatever. June. You got me. So when I had dropped that, like the overwhelming like support and like the views, like when I had dropped them 2 episodes, I probably had like Anchor tell you your estimated listeners. So it's like I had like 80, almost 90 off the first 2 episodes. But then it was like as the time went by, I kept putting the episodes out and I kind of wasn't paying attention. But when I got to like the 7th episode, you know what I'm saying, my listenership had went down by like half. You know what I'm saying? So I was just like, kind of starting to get discouraged. You know what I'm saying? Kind of started, making little posts, subliminal posts, like, I'm all I got type deal. Really kind of down and dump about the shit, man. And the same response was like, bro, just keep putting that shit out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like right now, my I think it's went up because I'm pushing YouTube as well. So I probably only got like 30 listeners
But now you know.
on Anchor. I got pretty much on everything besides YouTube. It's probably like 30 listeners, but I got like almost 40 followers on YouTube. So
That's
so I
good.
think the number's maintaining, but um it's just like you gotta keep giving the people what they want, man. You have to give those what I'm saying, followers, those listeners who've been listening to you from jump. You gotta keep giving them the content,
That consistency.
regardless. Yeah, you gotta keep consistently putting that shit out, regardless
So
if you're not where you want to be. I mean, I feel like I'm doing okay. I'm like over 1,000 downloads.
So for me, I didn't want to push my page or podcast onto anyone. So like you know, at first I wasn't even sending out that the invite to like me on Facebook or whatever. I just
Yeah,
was kind of like, if you wanted to support me, you was going to support me. I kind of wanted like that true genuine, like, oh, I want to hear what she's talking about type thing going on.
yeah,
Um, but eventually I did send it out to everyone. So it was like that one week I had like hundreds of people like the page real quick. But
yeah.
um, you know, that's just kind of what I wanted. I just want people to want to listen to it. I don't want it to be like, oh, let me listen to it because she keep sending me something.
I know, and you know what's crazy? Like, when you do the little private page specifically for your podcast, and when you send it out to however many friends you have, it'll keep sending that shit to
Like
people.
reminding them.
It'll keep reminding until you can. I've got sent pages and I've declined that shit, declined, I keep sending it. So
Mm.
it's almost like let me twist your arm, nigga. Just like the fucking page, and it won't and it won't happen again. You know what I mean? But that's how Facebook, Facebook aggressive, man, with anything that's gonna get people to be on Facebook more. like they're gonna push that shit for you. You know what I'm saying? Like even the advertisements. You know what I'm saying? I did the Facebook ads thing twice. You know what I'm saying? I won't say it was unsuccessful, but it's not definitely not what I thought it was. I mean, I did like the $3 a day and I had it on an account that I didn't use, and I probably got 10, 15 people that I didn't know. You know what I'm saying? But if you really want that shit pumping, and you want people from outside of the area, you got to be putting up like $25, $30 a day. I'm like, it ain't that fucking serious. You know what I'm saying? So, it's definitely hard to get the people to get people you don't know to listen, get them to tune in. But you know what I'm saying? If I find somebody, like for me, I listen. I'm pretty bad at listening to other people's stuff right now because I'm in the house. But when I'm on the way to work, I listen to everything. If it's no music out, I'm podcasting hard. But if I was to find a guy or girl who has a podcast and I really like the way they sound, and I go to their page and damn, they got like 20 episodes, I'm probably gonna go back and listen to all them shits. You know what I'm saying? And that's kind of what happens.
Yeah, so I try to start from the beginning. We got a couple friends who have some podcasts who I listen to. And then somebody I went to high school just shouted me out the other day and tagged me in a post with like several other people that we went to high school with. Apparently they have podcasts.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, let me go check everybody out. You know what I'm saying? So I'm all for supporting. I just, even though just like Nike makes shoes, Adidas makes shoes, like that ain't stopped them. And then here comes Under Armour or Fila, Reebok, whoever. So it's just like, it's, even though a lot of us may be doing the same thing, it's not necessarily we talking about the same thing. So
Yeah. And I mean, it's just good to hear somebody from the house. You know what I'm saying? That's talking that talk, whatever whatever their category is, shit like that. I mean, I love it, man. I got a hit to possibly be on another gentleman's podcast, local dude. I'm gonna get with him. You know what I'm saying? Try to do that. I mean, at this point, I'm just trying to just get as much information, insight, research from anyone that I can get with locally to do whatever I got to do to make my shit better down the line, or and give them kudos for that. I always, anyone who's ever helped me or push me to do this or push me to do something that makes me better, I try to always give them that love and support, man.
yeah,
You know,
we gotta look out for the people.
we all we got.
That supported.
So, what's your plans for the future?
No, future so bright. I honestly, I really, for real, I haven't really put like, my 5-year plan together, like what's gonna happen from the podcast. You get what I'm saying? Of course, everyone's dream, you want to blow up. You know what I'm saying? You want to be a little bit something. Growing up, I always wanted to be like locally famous. Like I really wanted to be on the radio. Like I wanted to be like It's Flex and Rain on PGC, and we do it real for the D-Dots.
What happened to Rain?
I don't know what happened to Rain, but I wanted to be out there telling the people to rep their hood like it was all good. That's what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
But I didn't realize that that's what I wanted to do till it was like late. You know what I'm saying?
Sometimes take you a little while to define yourself.
To find out what you want to do. Now I feel like I can't go in that avenue because I'm chasing dollar. Not really the dream right now. So
you're doing right.
So we gonna see, like, how much how many followers, listeners Kicking It With Key can get, and I can keep pushing out this content, and maybe become some type of like household name, like T.I. with his Expeditious. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, I mean,
people maybe be like, "Hey, you heard that Kicking It With Key episode? Like, she's talking that real." Because I be spitting that real.
You do. You be spitting a little bit.
The real.
Just a little bit, though.
No sugar coat.
Well, look here. Like I said again, I'm glad you got on, man. Means a lot to me to get you on here. You doing your thing, I'm doing my thing. Both of us came up from the mud, the Mo County mud. You know what I'm saying? It's actually very rich. It's not that other mud.
We can't even be out here.
It's that true green, rich soil.
All right.
But
number one school systems.
It is. It was. I don't know what the fuck going on now.
Maybe.
But we gonna keep putting out the content. You know what I'm saying? Whenever you're ready to have me on your podcast, you know what I'm saying? I'm there.
Shoot,
You
I may
can
have
get a
to borrow
little.
your studio. You know what I'm saying?
You can get a little topic. I mean, if you want to use the studio, you know what I'm
God, come
saying.
use the Captain Log
I don't think you're
studio.
gonna. I don't. I'm not gonna record it. You know what
No,
I'm saying.
look,
But I
I
mean,
said
you
it.
know.
I said all my stuff.
Yeah, you can have your own
I
stuff.
got
We
my
can.
latest and greatest technology.
Yeah. But let the people know where they can follow you, man. Your social media and all that.
Kicking it with Key, which is KICKINITWITKEE. That's on Instagram.
Ain't
On
nobody gonna
Facebook,
spell
you
all
just
that
add
shit.
the number 1, Kicking It with Key. Just make sure you tag me, when everybody can see the little ad. I got a discussion group page, so sometimes I like to follow up with my podcast on the discussion group page. That may be geared more to like the ladies. Who knows? But
She's
you
all
may
for.
want to come on there, drop your 2 cents.
I come talk some shit. Just let me know.
Drop your 2 cents
Okay. All right,
on
folks.
Fridays.
All right, folks.
Dang, why you trying to rush me?
Cause shit, this little battery getting low.
Oh, all right.
It's like no. Anyway, we're gonna wrap it up, man. Episode 16, Kicking It with Key. Subscribe, share, support. You know what I'm saying? Support your local podcaster. We're gonna keep putting it out for y'all, man. All right, Captain out.